Crum of Infographics has supported my social marketing classes for a number of years. Randy is an expert in infographics, and today you need to know what they are and how to use them. Randy, welcome to our social marketing specialization.
Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about yourself and about Infographics.
So I design data visualizations and infographics. And Infographics is my company where we design infographics for corporate clients, government organizations, and charities.
Do you have a site where people can see infographics and learn about them?
I do. I have coolinfographics.com, which has been around since 2007. And on that site, we highlight the best infographic designs we can find from any designers around the world.
And I really like the site. It keeps me up to date as to what's going on with infographics. But that's also the name of your book, isn't it?
It is. So Cool Infographics, the book, came out a couple years ago where we highlighted not only the ways companies are now using infographics, but a big section on design tips, tools, resources for anybody who wants to get started.
Fantastic. It's a great book. And the participants can find it on our social marketing library to purchase it.
Thank you.
So tell me, what is an infographic?
So we are visual creatures, and an infographic is a way for us to communicate information in a story to the audience. We use data visualizations, charts, numbers, text, icons, and illustrations all combined together to tell one story in an infographic.
Okay, and then in terms of that, why do we want to go with a visualization? What's the importance?
Well, there's a real science behind that. So we are visual creatures, and we process images and visuals and patterns a whole lot better than we do when we're reading text or numbers. So you may see an image of, for example, a lion hiding in the grass, and you can tell within a fraction of a second, not only do you recognize the lion, but you recognize that you're in danger by seeing this lion and can react to it. Computers are not that seeing patterns and images yet. And so we use that as a tool because we know that by sharing information, if we can make it visual, the audience will engage with it faster and will understand it faster.
Mm-hmm. And I think that would be important in today. We see media is really flooding the world with a lot of things to read and watch. Is that true?
Yeah, more than just media. I mean, we are in information overload. It is a whole bunch of advertisements and information being thrown at us. We're also going out there looking for even more information of stuff that we're trying to find, whether it's on the internet, news, books, media, email, all these ways that we ingest or digest, consume information. But we know from a design standpoint that by making information visual, we can not only make it faster and easier to understand, but you are more likely to remember it. It's called the picture superiority effect.
Okay.
And the picture superiority effect tells us that if I just tell you something, or if I let you read it in text alone, you're only going to remember about 10% of that information. But if I can tie it to the visual part of your brain and make an image that actually conveys that message, you're now going to remember 65% of that information.
That's
hugely.
Yeah, that's a huge difference. So basically you want to combine that image with information to really get it across so people remember it much deeper than they will if they just read something.
Exactly. And visuals, like for data, has started as charts, right? So what we call data visualizations are charts, standalone visual representations of the data. But they really have evolved into what we now call infographics, which combine not only charts and data visualizations, but we add text and we add icons and we add illustrations all together into one piece that tells a story. And a good infographic is going to tell a three-part story. It starts with some sort of intro where here's the background information that your audience needs to understand. Then there's the main point, the key message that you're trying to communicate, and then you finish it up with some sort of conclusion or call to action that you want your audience to follow now that you've revealed this new information to them.
And so you're actually telling a story with an infographic as opposed to just showing a chart with some data that I have to interpret.
Exactly. So we spend a lot of time before we even start designing talking about the information flow and wireframing that data before we dive into the design process.
So you actually figure out how the story is going to progress. And so what sort of levels do you have in the story?
So before we start designing, we try to identify what is that key message, what is that one piece of information that you want your audience to walk away with. And we also know from the website, so even on Cool Infographics, we have millions and millions of people that visit the site, and we know that most of them, far and away, the far majority of them are only on the site for about 5 or 10 seconds looking at one infographic. We have what we call the 5-second rule. So you only have 5 seconds to communicate your main message in the design, and then all the other information, which is good, supportive information and maybe more detailed information, is for that smaller minority that actually wants to dive in and dig deeper into your information.
Oh, that's really smart. Because what you're doing is saying, what's really the big thing I want to get across to the reader? because most people don't have time to spend a lot of time looking at an infographic. So I like that idea of less than 5 seconds, get the main point across. If they want to stay longer, then they're welcome to do that, and the details all there, but they've really got the big thing that you want them to take away right away.
We're in information overload, and we know that most of the people are only going to be looking for 5 or 10 seconds, and if we can communicate that key message within that 5 seconds, mission accomplished, and they can move on to other information and on about their lives.
Are infographics, are people getting more and more interested in them, or where are we at in terms of people using and looking for infographics?
So infographics are still, I would say, in the early stages. We are still growing exponentially as far as the number of companies that are interested in publishing infographics as part of their content marketing. A lot of companies are now using infographics internally to share information with their employees or presentations like in sales or board meetings, that type of thing. And we even know from Google Trends data that the people searching for infographics, like using the word infographic in their search terms, is still growing exponentially. It has grown over 10,000% in the last 4 or 5 years.
Wow. Well, in terms of infographics, I know I've looked at a lot of them. What are some of the trends that are happening with infographics today?
So most of the infographics you see are going to be static. It's the easiest way to publish an infographic. It's a JPEG image file. It's also the easiest way to share infographics. A lot of people are really comfortable and easy to share photos and images. But we're really seeing an explosion in interest and design need for animated infographics that really bring the data to life. A lot of people are doing that with animated GIF files, as well as videos and even interactive infographics where you can engage and change the data that's being shown.
And so what it does is it really brings me in because I see the movement in addition to the picture, in addition to the text, which maximizes impact on me.
Yeah, so there's a hierarchy there, right? So motion attracts your attention right above images, so images will attract your attention above the text, and the text is the last thing you'll read.
That's fantastic. So we've got the 3-part story, the 5-second rule, and let's move towards animation as really the goals that we would like to do with a lot of our infographics.
Yep, there's a lot of really good stuff out there.
I can't wait for the next video where you're going to show us some best-of-breed applications of companies using infographics for a variety of different purposes.
Great.
Thanks so much. These are great tips. Thank you, Randy.
Thank you.